The halacha is somebody wants to be a Jew, you make him a Jew. Make it simple for them to be a Jew. You want more Jews. Actually, it's one of the prophecies in the Gemara Masechet Avodah Zara, page 3b and 4a, that at the end of times there will be many converts. Many converts before the Mashiach comes. But once the Mashiach comes, no more converts. Why? Because then it's going to be easy. Everybody's going to want to convert. So Rabbi Tarfon is telling you that once you look at this entire SHAS, you look at these entire mitzvot, it becomes overwhelming. When the goy comes to the rabbis and he says, I want to convert, they know that. You tell them all of the mitzvot, you tell them all of the SHAS, you tell them everything, it's too much. So they tell them, listen, if you drive on Shabbat, death penalty. Now you can drive whatever you want, but if you convert, you drive. It's a problem. If you eat non-kosher now, enjoy, mabruk, ta'avon, eat whatever you want, just as long as it's not alive and moving. Because that will violate the 7 laws of Noah. But if you're a Jew, you can't eat anything that moves. And even if it doesn't move, you still can't eat it unless it's kosher. So he says, okay, what if it's not even alive? It's like, could be even worse. What do you mean? What if it's just a carrot? What if it's just leaves of spinach? So it could potentially be even worse. Why? Because it could be worms. So you have to clean it. Eating a worm is like eating pig 5 times. Just be careful. That's why in Pesach that's coming up, is HaShem, part of it is to eat a lot of these vegetables. You have to make sure that you go online and you learn how to thoroughly clean these if you don't already know how to clean them. Don't just rinse them in the water 5 minutes and that's it. It's a process. You take, let's say for example, any of the vegetables, especially the ones that are leafy, you put them, you wash them, rinse them out. Then you put them into a bowl with soap water, and you leave them there for several minutes. You take them out. There's a few different strategies that you can learn, either hot water, cold water, with soap. Long story short, there's plenty of videos online to teach you how to clean these vegetables. I'm not an expert on it, my wife is, but I can tell you that it's not 2 seconds. It's not like they do it at the restaurant. 2 seconds, they wash it, and it looks like it's clean because it's dripping water. Absolutely not. Because you eat one worm, you're thinking you're doing mitzvah for Pesach. You eat maror. You think you're doing a mitzvah, in reality you're making a huge sin. So you have to be very, very careful. So that's also why you shouldn't, if you're not experienced as far as doing a Pesach, you should really study a lot before Pesach, or if you can, go to a, let's say if there's like a local synagogue that's having an event, if it's within your budget, eat with them. Like if it's, I don't know, a Chabad or any of these Batei Knesset that have like a community event, if you don't know what you're doing, go there. Don't just have Pesach by yourself. It's just you and, I don't know, maybe one of your friends, and neither one of you guys just did Tshuva last week, and they're both eating malot and you're doing mitzvot. No, there's a lot of halachot for Pesach. Make sure you know what you're doing. And if you don't, you have enough time to study. It's not rocket science, but the point is, don't just come into Pesach thinking you're just going to read the Haggadah and everything's going to be okay. You have to prepare. So, the point here is that when the convert prospect comes to the rabbis, he says, yeah, I want to convert. It's like, yeah, but you're taking a big risk here. It's like, yeah, but that nation, I want to be part of them. So the actual halacha, Shulchan Aruch Halacha, even though we don't follow it anymore, the specific halacha, it's a very, very big disaster in this generation, and for some time now. But this actual halacha in Shulchan Aruch says that they convert them on the spot, velo makpidim alav mitzvot gdolot, and we don't teach him big mitzvot right away. We don't give him too much. Meaning, the guy just came. He came to the rabbis. He says, I want to be a Jew. They say, listen, then you're going to become part of the victims of anti-Semitism. No problem. Then you can't drive on Shabbat. No problem. Then you have to eat kosher. No problem. Okay, yalla, brit milah, let's go. L'chaim. They convert him, that's it. The only debate is whether the conversion is completed that day or after his Brit Milah heals, which is 30 days later. But the conversion, the first part of the conversion is on the spot. He didn't go to classes like they do today. They spend 5 years in classes. He didn't go to classes. He doesn't even know Halachot Shabbat yet. He doesn't know the 5 books of Moses by heart. He doesn't know anything. He just knows he wants to be a Jew. That's the actual halacha. Now, why doesn't anybody follow this halacha anymore? The halacha is somebody wants to be a Jew, you make him a Jew. Make it simple for them to be a Jew. You want more Jews. Actually, it's one of the prophecies in the Gemara, Masechet Avodah Zara, page 3b and 4a, that at the end of the times there will be many converts. Many, many converts before the Mashiach comes. But once the Mashiach comes, no more converts. Why? Because then it's going to be easy. Everybody's going to want to convert. So, in essence, fulfilling this halacha, making it simple for people to become Jewish, should be our initiative. But how come we don't do it? The reason we don't do it is because, unfortunately, there was a bunch of gerim, a bunch of converts that ruined it for everyone. Over time, there's been many, many fake converts where women would convert for men. Instead of converting for God, they convert for a boyfriend. She's converting because she wants to be with Tzvika or Moshe. Or he's converting because he wants to be with Sarah. Yesterday was Mustafa, today he wants to be Abraham. Why? But not for God. He wants to be Sarah's boyfriend. And he knows that her father won't let it happen, so he converts. Problem is, these fake converts, as soon as they convert, the wedding goes through, their husband and wife, that's it. Their connection with God or Judaism ends at that point. They become kofrim, they don't go to Beit Knesset, they don't keep mitzvot, even if they keep minimal, and they become secular Jews in so many words, and it's a very, very big problem, because if their intention was really to convert just for a person and not for God on the day of the conversion, even though they fooled the Bedin, they didn't fool God, which means that all of the children are goyim. If it's a woman, then the kids are goyim. If it's a man, then the kids are still Jewish, but it's a problem. They're coming out of a sin. So a bunch of converts made it very, very difficult for people today. This is also part of the tikkun for converts anyway. But unfortunately, we went from one extreme to the other. We went from a halacha, it's supposed to be easy for people to convert. If anybody in their right mind knows what conversion is, you know that you're going to be persecuted. You know that you're going to be part of the underdog. Right now, underdog. Later on, Bezat HaShem, top dog. But right now, we're not exactly on anyone's top 10 favorite list. You want to join us? You're supposed to make it easy. That's the halacha. But they don't do it. Why? Because a bunch of people ruined it. But we went to the other extreme. And the other extreme is that many Batei Din make it almost impossible to convert. Mamash, the neshama of the person has to come out until he finally converts. He has to study for years. Some Batei Din, some of these rabbis, make the people study Hebrew, even though it's not halacha for them to learn Hebrew. I know one particular one that makes people study Hebrew. It takes years. Or they make them become scholars. Like, you don't need to be a scholar. You just need to know basic. Basic. You know who God is. You know the brachot. So it makes it very, very, very difficult for people. And that's also why we have certain rabbis that have gone rogue. That pretty much are deciding to convert people on their own. And basically following the halakha, where you have 3 Jews saying, listen, you're going to follow the mitzvot? Yes. You ask them some questions, everything's good. Go in a mikveh, chazak u'baruch, you're a Jew. Based on halakha, technically they're a Jew. The problem is that no one's going to accept this conversion. So even though this person went to the ocean, dipped in the mikveh, the rabbi told him that he's a Jew, if that rabbi is not recognized by the Rabbanut in Israel, he may not care because he lives in America, he lives in Washington, he lives in Ohio, he lives somewhere else. He doesn't care. He's not planning on going and having an aliyah. But one day he's going to have a kid. And that kid is not going to care about who his original rabbi that converted him and his reason for it, his reason not for it. That kid's going to grow up Jewish. And one day he's going to want to marry a Jewish girl. or she's going to want to marry a Jewish boy. And they're going to arrive at the chuppah and kiddushim, and the parents are like, oh, hold on a second, before we finish everything off, aren't you a convert? Yes. Can you actually prove that? Can you show us the paperwork? And I show the paperwork. Oh, wait a minute. This rabbi, no one knows who this rabbi is. He's not approved by the Rabbanut. Your conversion is not valid. Your child is a goy. Your kid's going to hate you forever. Because even though halachic-wise, he's technically a Jew, society at large will not accept it. So you may not care, but your kid's going to care. So it's stupid to go do a conversion on your own outside of these accepted rabbanuts, because even though it's politics, even though it costs money, even though it's annoying, even though all these 1.5 million reasons of why it's not fair, it is what it is. It is what it is. You have to go through the system. And you have to pray that HaShem gives you the siyat dishmaya to help you along the way. Why? Because Rabbi Tarfon is telling you, you're not required to complete the task. If you actually want to convert, that desire alone, like if it's a real desire, not like you're telling somebody that you want to convert. Like you have a true desire to convert, but your situation makes it impossible. You can't move to a Jewish community. You can't afford it. You live in, I don't know, middle of Utah, and you have no money to leave town. You live in the middle of Texas, and your next door neighbor for the next 20 miles are cows. You can't leave town. You don't have any money. Okay, no Beit Din is going to convert you. I'm sorry. Why? Because you can't be a Jew by yourself. But you want to convert. You're studying Torah. You're learning what you need to do. HaShem will make a way. HaShem will pave your way. You're not required to complete the task. And what Rabbi Tarfon is telling you and the Baal TeShuva and every Jew out there is that just the fact that you want it is why you're going to get the reward. So, on the other hand, the Baal TeShuva that sees the SHAS, sees the whole Gemara, says it's too big. It's going to take, if I'm a genius, it's going to take me 7 years to finish the Gemara. But then it's just the Gemara. Then it's going to take me another 7 years to finish the Shulchan Aruch. But that's just Shulchan Aruch. There's going to be another several years to finish all the Midrashim. And then this. And then I'm never going to finish it. He says it's not for you to finish. Because even if you finish it once, it's nothing. Even if you finish it 100 times, it's still nothing. There's still more to learn. HaShem didn't write the Torah for you to finish it. HaShem wrote the Torah for you to toil, to continue learning.